I was raised by my grandfather, James Holland. He was an original Tuskegee Airman. He represented the U.S. in the first Pan Am Games. He went to Argentina. He met Evita. He graduated from Northwestern University at a time that they did not allow blacks to stay on campus, so he stayed at the YMCA. And after all of his accomplishments, he went back to his hometown in hopes of becoming a teacher. But they didn't hire blacks in the school system. So I want to say thank you to our ancestors who put the work in, were denied, but never gave up. And I also stand here to meet and I break this glass ceiling with so much excitement for the future. Because I can picture Black trans women standing up here, and Asian sisters, and our Latina sisters, and Indigenous women. And I know that one day it won't be unusual or groundbreaking, it will just be normal. Thank you to the Academy, to Netflix, to Denzel Washington, to George C. Wolfe, to Anne Roth, to Miss Viola Davis, to Matiki Anoff, to Andrea Resnick, to the spirit of Ma Rainey. Thank you.
And we are back, folks, here on WLTH 1370.
So she was celebrating a whole bunch of women getting celebrated for something, and a couple of guys who want to try to be women.
Who's Denzel?
What was that she was talking about? I look forward to the day when Latina women and Black trans women.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Hollywood. It's Hollywood. You know, Hollywood, like they. I mean, we talked about this on this show before. They try to make trans the new black.
Yeah.
Without hundreds of years of slavery and Jim Crow and all that other stuff. But outside of that, Gary's on Mia Neal, the daughter of Miss Dina. I forget what her name is, but right here from, I think she went to Horace Mann.
Yeah. Oh, the what do they call them? Makeup artist?
Yeah, the makeup artist went to Jackson State.
Yeah.
Won an Oscar this year, and they covered her mother here on the poster being I read about her mom. She's a very prominent member here. I know who she is. I met her before, but her name is escaping me right now. But yeah, I mean, we got an Oscar winner. I mean, we had one before. Carl Malden, if I'm not mistaken, won an Oscar, right? Didn't Carl Malden or somebody win an Oscar? I believe Carl Malden won an Oscar, Gary resident. But we got one here in the modern day, and she gave a really rousing speech. I saw Viola Davis up there crying, you know, listening to her give her speech.
Uh-huh.
And so, yes, that was very positive. You don't see a lot of people who are in that position who talk about growing up in Gary, and I was very happy in the lead up to the Oscars, and even after the Oscars, she talked about growing up here. She talked about all the experience that she had, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you know, it's not very often that somebody, you know, we hear somebody from Gary in that position.
Right.
In fact, to be honest, how often do you see somebody that works that part of the film industry getting attention?
Yeah, getting to give a speech like that.
Yeah, you know, that's like, what do you mean, makeup?
Yeah.
Makeup got prime time?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes. Let me get this caller. Hello, caller.
I had to call back. I got three people sitting in car with me.
Yes.
We were enjoying that speech.
Yes.
But what the hell do transgender black women got to do what our ancestors did? We all looked at each other like,
huh?
Hey, Scott, you just said something. They trying to make transgender the new black.
Yeah. That's the
They're
Hollywood
trying to
thing.
make homosexuality the new black.
Yeah, that seems to be where we're going.
We was enjoying the speech because we knew it was somebody from Gary.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then you start talking about transgender black women? No, gay men.
Men that like doing cosplay in a dress.
They pushing this so much on our kids, it don't make sense.
Right. I agree. I mean, it's even worse than in place if you look at Europe. If you look at places like England.
Yeah. You know, Scott, I do a lot of research.
Yeah.
If I speak on something, I done looked about it. It's like when I speak on things about going on in Gary, East Chicago, Hammond, wherever. But I like reading, I like watching, and seeing what's going on. And this gay thing. And I even had a conversation with a family member of mine who don't know what he wanted.
Oh, God.
He don't know if he want to be with a woman or a man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And he tried to compare it with what blacks have went through. And I told him, dude, don't you even try it. Don't even try it.
All right.
Because you cannot tell me the hatred that African Americans went through is the same as what the LGBT is going through. Because I have customers, I have family members, I have friends. I'm gonna be honest, I have friends that choose that lifestyle, and that's what they told me. It was a choice. It was a choice they made. I have had a couple say, "Well, I was born this way." I'm gonna be honest. There is even a pastor who has a house song. He was a house DJ back in the day. And he has a song that says, "I'm happy, I'm free, and I'm gay. I was born this way." And this guy has a church, and he has a following.
And gay?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I remember about a year ago in Chicago, a pastor told a guy that he couldn't come back to his church anymore. Now, this guy was a member of the church for years, and he always dressed as a man.
Mm-hmm.
As he was in the church, he conducted himself as a man, even though they knew where he was. But then he decided to come to church dressed as a woman.
Oh.
And the pastor told him that's not going to happen. He got mad with the pastor. And we also remember the church in Chicago that's on 63rd Wood Line. I can't think of the pastor's name. It's a big church.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lesbian couple that wanted to get married at the church, and he said, "Oh, that ain't happening." And then it's just people are making changes of the word to make friends with those who want to say, "I was born this way."
Right.
And then the first thing they'll say is, "God don't make no mistake." If God made you a man, you're a man.
That's
Same thing with a woman. Because we were put on this earth to multiply. I don't think two women getting together or two men getting together will make a baby without science. And science has destroyed this world. Have y'all ever heard of a saying that Einstein had? And he said technology will destroy the world.
No, I haven't heard that one.
Look that one up. Einstein said himself, technology will destroy the world. But that speech had me in the beginning, and I had the three people in the car with me. Had us all. We went out with Chicago. And
y'all were saying amen, huh? High fiving and everything, right up to that moment.
Up to that moment, we all looked at each other like, what? I love what she said about what her ancestor had did as far as breaking the black barrier. But when she said black trans, you trying to say that black people made the barrier of being trans. And we know this didn't happen with black people.
Right.
Because if you want to go back to the history of slavery, it was the white man that was working the black man. Yeah. So this has nothing to do with us. So And up until that minute, I could agree with her 100%. But when she said the black transgender, no, black men not meant to be transgender.
Well, thank you. Look, I'm with you. Thank you for your call.
Have a good day.
It's all good, brother. Yeah, like I said, they try to make it the black trans the new black. Like I said, I'm pro letting adults be adults in a free country. Generally speaking, I don't care what people do with their lives, but those type of equations where there is sort of a moral equation, I do have a problem with that because, as I said, no hundreds of years of slavery for them, no Jim Crow for them, no intergenerational poverty for them.
Right. Some of them are doing quite well.
Yeah, like gay people make more money than straight people do in America. A lot of people don't know that, but they do. Look it up. Gay people make more money than straight people in America. And so, like the idea that the type of intergenerational poverty that slavery wrought on us and Jim Crow redlining, the two-tiered legal system, like to say that's the same thing as somebody deciding that they are a man or a woman, or because they feel like their hormonal structure is off balance. They're not comparable terms. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Hollywood pushing that, but I am happy that me and Neal did do something positive, and it's from the city of Gary. And she's not the only one, Rev. We have a young man who was born here, whose father was born here, and was a star at Westside, and was the coach at Westside, I think, as well. No, I think Winston Garland went to Roosevelt, but he coached at Westside or something like that.
Okay.
Darius Garland has become a revelation in the last few months in the NBA. Have you seen this?
No.
No. Well, yes.
I have to admit, I haven't watched much NBA this year because I was so used to the Garpax era.
Yeah.
With the Bulls.
Well, now the Bulls are actually watchable. They really
I read the article, like, I'm ready to go and start,
Yeah, the Bulls are really good.
Because the bench ain't worth watching.
Oh, they are not. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine have turned it around, but another young man from the city of Gary, Darius Garland, has become one of the best point guards in the NBA. And you love to see it. This kid is he plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And ever since LeBron left, they don't really you don't see a lot of Cleveland on TV, which is another reason why he's sort of gone under the radar, because without LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers are not really a relevant franchise. Let's just be honest. Right. They're not a relevant franchise without LeBron James. But he has become a really good young player in the NBA, almost all-star level until he got hurt. And so it's good to see him busting out this year. We had in women's basketball, we had
the young lady that got traded to the Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
She went to Westside, Dana Evans.
Right.
Dana Evans just won a championship with the Chicago Sky a few months ago, and it was good to see that because she was a big star at Louisville in college. People said, oh, she could do something, but there were those who had their doubts. But now I'm glad to see that she was able to get on with the local, at least the closest WNBA team, so we can watch her a lot more on the WNBA, should I say, because she's on the Chicago Sky, and it was really good to see her become successful.
Yeah, it was. I mean, not only for the fact of it encourages people to watch the WNBA. It encourages young lady, female athletes to pursue that. Don't just let it be something you did, through high school,
right.
and now you go back, go to forgetting about that, going into the real world. Well, that can be part of the real world. Mm-hmm. It's not what the NBA is, and I'm not gonna, soft soap that. The reality is men's basketball draws advertising revenue. Advertising revenue enables those athletes to command those kind of salaries. Mm-hmm. It drives the television contracts, the whole nine. It's all interconnected. And most people that really like women's basketball will tell you it's not about the flash and the sizzle. It's about women's basketball tends to be more fundamentally sound.
Right.
Now, fundamentally sound is not razzle dazzle.
Right.
You know, you have to be a basketball aficionado to appreciate the women's game, I would say. Whereas the men's game, you know, men's basketball is like the Super Bowl. Everybody watches the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to really care about the Bears playing the Vikings this Sunday.
Right.
You know,
Well, and let me just say this: the WNBA, and they get let off the hook to me about this. The WNBA is a terribly run league, and I say this all the time. It is not. Look, I'm not saying that they'll ever be as big as the NBA is or something, but there are things they can do to make their league more marketable.
Mm-hmm.
That they are purposely not doing because they know they're never going away. They know that the NBA will prop them up. They've lost at least $10 million every year for the last 25 years. And the NBA essentially keeps them there because, you know, it's good PR for the NBA, right? It's good PR for the NBA to prop up this league that loses $10 million. Now, you do the math on that. They've lost about $300 million on that league. But because LeBron and Steph Curry and, you know, Giannis generates so much money, they have $300 million to spare over the time about 30 years. So, but if the NBA players ever said, look, we're tired of subsidizing this league that doesn't make any money, they would have a point. You know, because that's coming away from them. That's coming out of their salaries. But a lot of them seem to be supportive because, again, it allows them to get some good PR.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can go to a WNBA game with their daughters, or they can. There was one player, Andre Iguodala, who some years ago got in some deep trouble for saying that he didn't want his daughter in the WNBA because there's a lot of lesbians there, and nobody's gonna watch lesbians play. He definitely he was definitely castigated about that. But yeah, the WNBA, they are growing at a snail's pace. It's not just because people are sexist and don't like women's basketball. A lot of it is their own doing. Because of, like I said, they are bad at marketing themselves and that league. But again, the NBA is going to keep paying for it, so there's really no reason to I guess complain too much. But one thing we do have to complain about, we do have to go to a break. We have to take our second break before the hour. So we will be right back. Please give us a call, 219-885-1371. And if you didn't hear it this time, I'll tell you again.
There you go.
You are listening to Cannon Rev on WLTH 1370. Give us a call, 219-885-1371. Fish.